Before I start, I have a confession to make. I am a superhero. And yes, I know you're thinking superheroes don't look like that. Well, I am one. Now you see, I know in your minds you're thinking, why am I not out there saving the world? Why am I here with you today? Well, I'm here to tell you something. We are all superheroes, and we all have superpowers. So what is that superpower we all have? It is adaptability, the ability to adapt. And yes, I know it doesn't sound as cool as super speed or having super strength, but trust me when I say it is the greatest superpower to have. And I'll prove that to you by telling you a story. A story about a young boy that moved from the warm climate of sub-Saharan Africa all the way to the cold and harsh climate of Eastern Europe. I am the boy in the story, by the way. You see, this was the last picture I took before leaving home. And in there you can see the morning dew and the reflection from the beautiful sun. You see, the sun was my friend. But that was not just enough for me. I wanted more. I wanted to experience more. I always dreamt of playing in the snow, making snow angels. And so I was determined to make that dream a reality. I left home. And I landed. And this was the first picture I took when I landed. My, oh my, it was so cold. In fact, thinking about it now just makes me shiver. You see, everything felt dead. Nothing was green. Everything was white. It was winter, and it was nothing like I imagined. And I thought to myself, nah, how am I going to survive this? I have to go back home. But little did I know that there was a long list of surprises waiting for me. You see, when I landed, I was greeted with these words, Dobro pazhalovat. And never in my life did I think I would hear a word with such a mixture of consonants. It sounded scary to me. And I was anxious to find out what these words meant, only to find out that it simply meant welcome. And in my mind, I was like, welcome sounds scary in this language. How am I going to survive? Like I said, a long list of surprises. That did not stop there. So the next day, I found myself in school. And I said, surely numbers are a universal language. I saw these words on the board, and I was super happy. I was like, finally, something I know. 1, 2, 3, 4. But you see, to my surprise, my teacher just said these words. Raz, dva, tri, четыре. And I said, surely this is the end of me. I have to go home. There's no way I will survive. Like I said, long list of surprises. Little did I know that I would come in contact with the almighty Cyrillic alphabets. You see, the Cyrillic alphabets are nothing like the English alphabets. You see that P right there? It is actually an R. And this is what an F looks like. And this is a J. You see, I was worried. At this point, I said, this is the end of me. There's no way I'm going to learn this. And in my mind, I was screaming for my mom to come and save me. But you see, just like every superhero, it was at my lowest point that my superpower kicked in. I said to myself, I have to adapt. I have to make this work. And so, 2 weeks later, I found myself in the coffee shop. And when I walked to the counter, something strange happened. I looked up, and the alphabets I was scared of earlier started to make sense. The first one there is горячий шоколад, and that is hot chocolate. You see, the words started to come together. It was then I realized that I had just unlocked my superpower. What I was scared of, I was no longer scared of. It became familiar to me. You see, the second to the last one there is chai naturalnie. I know it looks scary. The alphabets look scary. But then everything started to piece itself together. But you see, like every human being, is never enough. I wanted more. But this time around, I wanted something familiar. So for my next adventure, I decided to travel to England. But little did I know what was waiting for me in the city of Liverpool. I heard these words for the first time. How are we, la? And I said, surely this must not be in the English dictionary. I had a couple of other words, like skran and tada, which is what the lady at the train station always says to me. Tada, love. But you see, these words were new to me, and I was like, what is going on? Is this supposed to be English? But I found out that skran just simply meant food, and tada was just a way of saying goodbye. So you see, in all of this, what happened was I had to adapt. I had to become someone new. I had to become something else. So I've told you my story. But am I the only one with that superpower? No. We all have that superpower. So what does history have to say about this? And how does it relate to technology? You see, humans have always wanted more, just like myself. And we've always used technology as that tool to propel ourselves into the future. You see, earlier we started traveling and transporting by riding on horses, on horseback. But was that enough for us? No. We decided to move on to carriages. But you see, with that advancement in technology, meant that we created new problems. There was definitely more noise pollution and a lot of dust. Did we stop there? No. We built the automobile. But you see, with this creation meant we also built the carbon gases we all complain about today. Did we stop there? No, we went further and built electric cars and self-driving cars that we all have today. Another good example would be newspapers. But you see, we never really stop as humans. We always want more. This was how information was shared earlier. But today, how do we share information? We have the internet. We created the internet. But is it ever enough? No. You see, according to World Counts, 42% of all global wood harvest is used to make paper. That is a lot. And that's deforestation, and that's bad for the climate. But you see, what did we do? We created what? The internet. And you see, with the internet, it has to store things somewhere. And what did we do? We created data centers. And according to the International Energy Agency, the IEA, approximately 1 to 1.5% is accounted for the global electricity usage. And if you ask me, that is way better than the 42%. So we moved to bigger things. We're always creating and moving and becoming better. But you see, what is the issue here? I discovered a pattern in the way we do things as humans. First, we create, and then we adapt to what we create. And then we sustain the environment in which what we created exists. That is how we have always done things. And yes, it is working. But you see, there's a new sheriff in town. And that sheriff is artificial intelligence. The big bad wolf. Everyone, I'm sure, has used AI of some sort. And I'm sure most people are scared of what AI could do. But well, I'm here to tell you, do not be afraid of AI. Because just like me, I was afraid of the alphabet, but they became my friends, and I knew how to use them. It's the same way with AI. I'm here to tell you we need to embrace this technology in order to build for the future. Because you cannot build for the future with yesterday's tools. So you see, what are some of the ways we can use technology to help save our lives? I want us to think a little bit here. think saving energy. Think of AI systems that control the electricity in your house. Think of an automatic system that automatically switches off a cuts light supply to your house when you leave and automatically comes back on when you enter into a building. Think of green technology. Think of a world where we no longer use papers, but we save everything in the cloud. Think of recycling. Think of AI robots that automatically sort your waste for you. Think of AI robots that also could potentially convert waste into energy. Think of smart farming. This could solve the problem of food shortages. Think of the climate. Think of using AI to predict natural disasters. Think of how many lives you could save with that. You see, in all of this, I just want you to come to understand that rather than fear this technology, embrace it as something we could use to solve problems for the future. Oh, someone needs saving. I just received a text. So I have to go. But before I go, I want to remind you of something. Rather than be afraid of this technology, embrace it. And together, we can build for the future with sustainability in mind, one step at a time. Thank you.